Really appreciate everybody for tuning in. My name is Law Nation, LAW Nation. Shout out to you, duh. You the first person that's in the house, man. We holding it down, baby. Like 5 million pounds. Let me put them up here, man. Let me show them some love and adulations for the nation as we continue to grind, as we continue to grow, as we continue to get things going in the right direction. All right, so Cowboys, here's the situation. Here's the angle. Shout out to you, Kevin Harris, man. Really appreciate you. This game is a game, whereas before the start of the season, we would look at this thing and say, well, this is a revenge game. Remember what happened last year? My dog, Dak Prescott, was throwing the ball all over everywhere, right? I mean, Amari Cooper had a sweet catch on the sideline. Remember that? Michael Gallup was like, hey, I'm welcoming to the party right here. Let me show y'all what I got. It was a game that everybody was like, yeah, we got to win this game. And somehow, one way or another, we didn't find a way to win it. So shout out to you, Bill. Shout out to you, Dominico. Really appreciate you for tuning in. So, and I see you. Let's go top 3 pick. And you guys know how this show goes. This is going to be a Q&A groove. And we're going to figure this thing out and see what we can get going from here. Let me ask the computers over here what's going on. Hey, Google, what's the latest news on the Dallas Cowboys?
This is the latest from the Landry hat.
Here are 3 things that...
Here's what it says on New York Post.
Andy Dalton's Cowboys year just keeps getting worse. Andy Dalton's sight, hearing, and touch are intact, so he is going to play quarterback Sunday for the Dallas Cowboys. It is Dalton's other 2 senses, taste and smell, that are not functioning properly more than 2 weeks after he was placed on the reserve COVID-19 list. You can tell things are sweet. You can tell things are salty, Dalton said. You just don't get the flavor with it. Dalton has not played since he suffered a concussion on a vicious hit by linebacker John Bostic on October 25th against Washington.
Okay.
I also sent that article and 2 others to your phone. In the meantime, here's the latest from the Viking Age.
What's going on in the Vikings land?
5 Cowboys players the Vikings should be most concerned about. Photo by Jeff Burke, USA Today Sports, Ezekiel Elliott. The Minnesota Vikings are feeling good about themselves after winning their 3rd straight game against a division opponent, no less. They are now beginning a stretch where they'll be favored in the next 3 contests and could essentially get to a winning record if they take care of business in the next 3 weeks. The Dallas Cowboys come to town this Sunday afternoon, and this is a team that has been ravaged by injuries.
Shout out to you, Flows.
Finally, this is the latest from the Viking Age.
Go ahead.
5 things to know about the Vikings and Cowboys for Week 11.
What's the 5
Photo
things?
by Richard Rodriguez, Getty Images, Dalvin Cook, Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings and Dallas Cowboys will square off in Minneapolis during Week 11. For Dallas, the game precedes a bye week and will illustrate the Cowboys' ambitions for changing the course of their season. A 2-7 record plagues Dallas, in a year that the team was supposed to be a Super Bowl contender. Head coach Mike McCarthy's team is peppered with talent on offense and defense, but thus far wins have not aligned with the pizzazz of the roster. At 4-5, the Vikings have already started an about face.
That's all I have for now. You can find links to the full text of the articles in your phone.
Appreciate you. Thank you, Google. Here's the situation, Cowboy Nation. It is what it is at this point. Okay, Google, you can turn off now. Yeah. So here's the situation. When we look at everything from A to Z, and we think about, this team and what we got in store, they are a 4-5 team, right? We are a 2-7 team. There's only 2 games away, right, from each other. We lost 7 games, they lost 5, and it's an any given Sunday. We heard all of that about when my dog D-Law said that, hey, everybody can have a puncher's chance. Everybody can have their hand into the mix. So I look at it like that. Now, I do know that we got Team Tank on one corner, right? For those who are Team Tank, you can put TTs in the chat box. And if you're no Team Tank, you can put NT in the chat box. But We understand that, right? And we must evaluate our guys. We still don't know what we got out of a Reggie Robinson, right? We don't know what he's going to bring to the table. Shout out to you, JPG. We don't know what the other guys that we pretty much took a look at in the draft, what have you, like the Bradley and Nyes, right? We don't really know what Francis Bernard can bring to the table. JPG says start Gilbert. Now that is another side of the coin that I was lamenting too. But the future will always be the future, meaning that the future will be always something that we can take a look at and say to ourselves, okay, how can we better our best? How can we improve in this? How can we improve in that? And that is what the future can say to ourselves. How can we evaluate? How can we evaluate Gilbert? Because we know for sure, is Andy Dalton going to be the guy for next year? I don't know. But we got to look at it from these things. Martin says Team Tank. Let me do the quick poll. Adrian says Team Tank. Asmodeus says no tank. Sandy says no tank. We fighting through the echoes. We know what I'm saying? We fighting, ain't it right, Sandy? We fighting for this thing, right? We ain't going to let nobody change our mindset. This is Jim Laws. My dog says never, 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 never. No Team Tank. So and then Richard says never tank. Ever, 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 ever. So we got that in the bag for us, right? So far it's about split down in the middle, 50-50. Some says tank, some says don't. And right or wrong, there's nobody who's right about the situation nor wrong about it. You know, these are all just opinions. But there's a culture that you have to establish. There's a culture that you have to develop. There's a mindset that you have to lay out. There's a thought track that you have to put together. There's a mind frame that you will have to install. You see what I'm saying? Because what happened here is a lot of times people would look at the teams from last year and say, well, they tanked, which in reality they didn't. The Dolphins, towards the latter part of the year, they start putting the things together. They didn't tank to get their particular quarterback or whoever they got in the draft. They tried to win. For example, I think towards the latter part of the year, they actually beat out the Philadelphia Eagles. I know. Right? You know, would you want a cookie for doing that? No. But what I'm saying is, collectively speaking, is that mindset carried on throughout the rest of the year for this year. You guys get what I'm saying, right? I hope you guys are following me what I'm saying. The actual Steelers, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they had a horrible record last year. They still made it to the playoff, but they had the mindset, okay, let's continue to develop. Let's continue to build. Let's claw ourselves out of this situation. Let's continue to fight. That mindset, that the reality sets in, and they said to themselves, let's figure this thing out. Let's go make some moves and acquisitions when we are at our lowest, so it can propel us so we can be where we at now. Did you guys think that when they picked up Minkah Fitzpatrick last year, did you think that they was going to go to the Super Bowl? No, they was developing. They was seeing into the future. They was looking at this situation and saying, okay, all right, what can we improve on as it relates to our defense? Our offense is good, but let's see how we can improve on our defense. Yes, our offense is bad right now because, and I'm talking in reference to the Pittsburgh Steelers. But they looked at this thing and they said, you know what? Quarterback is down. Let's evaluate Rudolph. Oh, Rudolph went down. Let's evaluate the other quarterback. Whoever the backup quarterback was, I didn't follow them that well, but I looked at some of the games. And you guys get what I'm saying, right? Let me see what we have here. Keem, Law, what I would say is the Giants won the NFC East at 9-7 and won the division and won the Super Bowl. This is Akeem Smith. Yeah. There's something about continue to fight, right? There's something about looking at everything and saying, okay, how can we improve to better our best? At the start of this year, and pretty much I talked about this before during the off season. I said this right here, and you guys can probably go back and rewind some of my videos, is that there's no such thing. There's really literally no such thing as salary cap hell. Why, Law? Why, Law? No, you lie, Law. I said there's no such thing. The team we are about to face tomorrow, the 4-5 Minnesota Vikings. When I told everybody, I said, hey, there's no such thing. Don't you guys know at the start, you guys can go back and rewind and look at some of the situations as it relates to those who are capologists. But you can go back and look at what they did. They was below the cap. They was under the cap. Didn't they find a way to keep Anthony Harris? Let me know if did they find a way to keep Anthony Harris. Did they pay their running back? Let me know in the chat box. Did they pay their running back as well? Oh, did they pay Kirk Cousins? So there's really no such thing. You could always rearrange money. So when people was talking about, well, when you think about it, Law, just think about it. We couldn't have the money to pay Byron Jones. We didn't have the money to pay Dak Prescott. We don't have the money to pay such and such. And when I did the quick math, you had the exact money to pay Byron Jones. Man, it would have been nice to see Byron Jones and Diggs. It would have been nice to see Byron Jones in this particular defense opposed to what we got, right? We had enough money to still pay Jalen Smith. We had enough money to still pay Lyle Collins. We have still enough money, believe it or not, like Ripley's, believe it or not, to pay Dak Prescott. Matter of fact, you would have more money if you'd have paid Dak Prescott, because all of that money wouldn't hit off your cap right off the jump. And then you can spread it around after, they did the Dak Prescott signing, if they were to do those things. And you could have spread the money around like they did with Zach Martin, right? Like they extended and moved some money around for D-Law. There's ways to get around this thing, but you have to plan ahead. Chris said the salary cap hell is the biggest myth in the NFL. Oh, Chris, you speaking the truth, man. Somebody put hallelujah. This brother is speaking the truth out here. The salary cap hell is the world's worst analogy or worst thing to put out there. Go back, and I trust you guys to go back and just look at it. Look at where the Minnesota Vikings were at. And everybody that they wanted to keep, they kept. The only person they got rid of was the wide receiver, Diggs. And I believe Diggs kind of like he wanted to get out of the Vikings land anyway. It was time for him to go. He got tired of being shadowed as the number 2 guy. Adam Thielen, regardless of the situation, was still going to be considered the number 1 guy. There were plenty of money to pay them all. Yeah, it's plenty. So, nevertheless, when we look at this particular game, we're looking at a game with Kirk Cousins, a gunslinger at times. I put him in the likings of an Eli Manning / he's kind of like Carson a little bit. He will give you a few. He will donate to your charity. If you think I'm lying, look up Barry Church when he was playing against him. He's like, yeah. Look up Jeff Heath when he was playing against. The safeties always find a way to pick him off, right? It's just how it goes. Asmodeus, impossible is a big word used by small men. Never tank. Yes, indeed, Asmodeus. Impossible, and thank you for the donation to help elevate the nation. And it's right in the words of impossible. Because if you read it, again, if you slow it down and really look into it, it's saying, I'm possible. I'm possible. Nothing is impossible when you put your mind, your heart, and your soul and sinew together. Nothing. Don't you guys know in 2007, if the Giants had that defeative mentality and say to themselves, man, we're horrible. Man, it's impossible for us to beat the Patriots. They played the Patriots the last game of the year. Although they lost, they still learned something from it. They said they beatable. It's beatable. It's beatable. And it came true. It came true. They got into the dance, although that game wasn't the determining factor whether or not they get in or not. But it's just the reality that they was able to stand toe to toe. While we done already cut the ribbon and had our celebratory dance, we was in Cabo land. They was focused. They was driven. They was saying that, hey, we got an extra chance. We got an opportunity to change things. And I hate to praise the Giants, but they was more focused. They was more keyed in. Every hit, they made sure they laid on you a little longer. Every time they put the quarterback on the ground, they made sure they talked to him and said, hey, how was Cabo? You know, every time. And they wanted it more. Let me repeat, they wanted it more. And I know the low-hanging fruit people are going to say, Law, if we would have won, if it was a fifth, we all would be drunk, right? You can give me some extra shots of that, right? But I know that people will be looking at this thing and saying, nah, man, nah. That's not what happened. Appreciate you for the donation to help elevate the nation. But as always, a person that continue to figure out ways to win. Winning is everything, regardless. Rudolph, yes. What is all the tank talking about? Tanking? Are y'all serious? It's not that serious. Yes, Frederick. Yes, indeed. I feel what you're saying. Law has got to get to the persons to motivate the Cowboys. Yeah. Motivation goes in so many ways. Remember that one-handed catch he caught? Yeah. It was crazy. It was flat out crazy. Let me see some more of what y'all have to say. The Cowboys players been so pampered and given the best of everything from A to Z that I think it had hurt the overall hunger for winning for the team, the organization over the years. Let me say it like this. I believe what you're saying wholeheartedly. I flat out agree with what you're saying. With the whole situation, with the pampering, with the mindset. Shout out to you, Ricardo. Shout out to you, Richie. And shout out to you, Elle and Tony. Really appreciate you all on the Facebook group. And shout out to you, Jessica. I agree that sometimes when you are given the silver spoon, sometimes when you are giving, okay, this team will be on primetime games. This team, Super Bowl or bust. This team got all of the star players, this team, Super Bowl contenders without even earning it. Sometimes all of that stuff will trickle down into the psyches of the minds, in the hearts and the thoughts of the people. And they begin to think that they're privileged in a sense. They begin to think that, hey, I don't have to do an extra this or extra that. And not saying that this is what the Cowboys are collectively doing, but the lollygagging and in the perception of the way our coaches are as it relates to Mike McCarthy, as it relates to Jerry Jones, as it relates to Stephen Jones, it just seems as if though this is Camp Cupcake and beyond, right? We don't have that strong will, that strong fortitude of somebody coming in and you see when they make the mistake, we show them up and we shun them. We don't have that here in this organization. Not saying that you need it, because now the talk tracks are when a player have one bad year, it's time to get rid of them, right? That's what we heard from the Ezekiel Elliott situation, or whenever Dak Prescott threw an interception, they say, all right, let's get rid of him. Let's move on from him, right? But the reality of it is that we never really had that coach to give the preemptive stare, said, do it again, right? And of course, we understand, right? The coaches are limited into a sense, whereas they're at the mercy of Jerry Jones. They're at the mercy of Stephen Jones. They're at the mercy of the people up top, because this is a marketing situation. My dog just said it right here, paper champs, It's just how it goes, man. John Cook says, shut down Cook. I mean, John Scott, my bad. I gave your last name away. My bad. John Scott said shut down Cook. Um, it's possible. When I looked at the tape, Chicago Bears did a hell of a job. They did one hell of a job of shutting them down. When I looked at everything, I can say to myself, man, they did a wonderful job of shutting them down. But the problem is that it just didn't sustain, right? It was just like they continue to batter, they continue to go, they continue to fight, they continue to push, they continue to run. 30 attempts for 96 yards. That's a horrible combination, right? That's the situation where you look at it and say to yourself, hey, that wasn't that hard, that wasn't that rough, that wasn't that bad of a situation or a scenario. That was just okay. So that's how I look at it. Well, they did a great job against that particular look. Let me see if I can upload this right quick. Oh man, I ain't it's 10 too large. So that's just what happened here. So let me see if I can do it this way. Hold on, give me a few seconds, Cowboy Nation. Give me a few seconds. Let me see if I could do it this way. Give me 1 second. And let me see if I can do it this way. It's more than one way to skin a cat. Let me see if I can do it this way. And you guys probably not going to be able to see the file that way. I might can do it this way. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can build a plane while it's in the air. But you guys get what I'm saying, Cowboy Nation. There's so many angles that we can look at this and say to ourselves, how. Come on now. Bam. There you go. And I go here, share screen, application window. There we go. Bam. Do it this way. More than one way to scan that cat. Y'all can see it from here. This is what they do. They love to run the rock. And I showed this before on my previous video. Let me see if I can blow it up a little bit better. And look at that. Look at that. This is what they do. They run the rock. They pass the ball. They run to set up the play action pass. And the kid, let me see if I can fix it up. Y'all bear with me. Yeah. Add the screen. Goes from here, Cowboy Nation. And that's what I see when I look at their feed and I look at their tape and especially Good old, good old, good old Kirk Cousins. No audio law. Oh, it was no audio. So I was doing all that talking and y'all wasn't able to hear what I was saying. Oh my goodness. All right, so that platform, I'm not gonna use it again. Oh my goodness. Let me cancel it out. My bad. I'm sitting there, I was giving y'all a full breakdown of everything, and it was no audio. It was no audio. Oh my goodness. Well, that's all going to change. I got some things that's going to be updated in a few that's heading this way. It said it will be delivered on the 25th. So all of this stuff will work out. Just bear with me, because what I normally do is I go on another platform to actually, push everything over. And then on this platform, it's just Facebook, my Twitter, my Twitch, and also my YouTube page. So I was like, I was giving you guys some good stuff though, right? I was giving you guys some good stuff. What I was saying is that good old Kirk Cousins, he always liked to utilize his veteran guys. He always loved to go to his veteran guys when he get into the red zone, money zone, green zone. He loved to go attack with the Kyle Rudolph when he get down there, and he loved to attack with Adam Thielen when he get down there. And they like to use the play action to set up the run. Well, the play action to set up from the run, they set up the play action to set up the pass. Man, I'm everywhere this morning. Maybe I need to get a stronger doses of coffee. But I really appreciate everybody for tuning in. 75 degrees late in Texas. Can't complain. This is from but we gonna move on up north, but it's inside. Kirk Cousins is going to throw a pick. This is from I think that Kirk Cousins, like I said, Kirk Cousins will give you one. He will flat out give you one. Yes, man, Jeremy, man, I really appreciate you, the real MVP, because I was going on and on and on, and I never knew that you guys couldn't hear me. I never knew that you all couldn't hear me. Kid Rasco, really appreciate you so much for tuning in. What I do in this moment right here, since it's close to the 30-minute marker, what I would do, if you like to jump on and give me your thoughts, give me your info of the game, just click that link. You just got to have good Wi-Fi though, and you can jump on and be a part of the show. This is my second Saturday doing it this way, and this show I try to go for about an hour, and then I kind of hang out with the family. So if you guys can hit that link, jump right on in. I see my Facebook groove. I didn't destroy my Facebook groove over there. But you guys, if you guys on Facebook, I'm still live. Just jump on in and get on in. And hopefully you guys can see me, hear me, and all this stuff, because I think it's choppy, right? Is it still choppy? Did I mess up the plane while I was trying to build it? We need TD, not field goals. Yes, Akeem, if we can find a way. If we can flat out find a way, that will be a plus. If we can flat out find a way. Is D-Law playing? I think they elevated to a game day decision. My thing is, when you didn't practice all week, you practice how you play, and it will be a situation where I don't know his injury. The injury is unknown. Hopefully he can get out there and do something. Jeremy X, he says his bold prediction is Awuzie get 2 interceptions. That's a real bold prediction. If Awuzie get 2 interceptions this game, if he find a way to get 2 interceptions this game, I will. Yeah, the video still. God dog it. I don't know why this video is blurry. Come on. Let me do it this way then. Let me go and remove. No, I ain't gonna do it that way. I don't know. Well, if Awuzie get 2 interceptions this game, I will send him a contract. They need to send him a contract to re-up. Maybe they can lowball him a little bit, but they need to send him a contract. The Cowboys defense cannot stop the league MVP, Dalvin Cook. This is from TT. Well, I don't know if he's considered the league MVP, but he's been a hell of a running back for you all. He's been a guy that could bust 30 and 40-yard plays. I think he ran a 70-yard play earlier this year. against I want to say the Detroit Lions. And the kid, he got some wheels on him. He's quick and he's aggressive. He can go in and out of his cuts. So he's pretty dominant. The game will be won in the trenches. Is from Garrett. I agree 1,000,000%. The game should be won in the trenches there. That's where you can win. That's where you can battle out. And that's where you should play this game, deep down in the trenches. We need to contain him, and it is all. Great. Let me see. Here we go right here. He says, Rivera says, we need to contain him is all. Easier said than done. Chicago had a great game plan to contain him. Chicago Bears had a great game plan to contain him. Let me say again, Chicago Bears had a great game plan to contain him. They wanted to force him to run from the interior. Even though he normally don't run that well from the inside, he can. His game is to capture the edge. His game is to read the tackle, and once they make their particular block or what have you, he can plant his foot and get upfield quicker than most. They have a zone running concept. So with a zone running concept, you have to be patient a little bit. But when you see that daylight, that stretch, that open, you gotta squeeze through there. And he's been doing a great job at that. So what this will say is that we on the opposing side, we have to collapse. We have to really push that pocket back inside. Because most of the play is going to look like everything is going to be out of a pass set. So what we got to do is we got to just be disruptive, right? Get the quarterback off his marker, right? Stop the run, right? If we can stop the run and force the quarterback to be one-dimensional, then we have a strong chance of winning this game. How do you do that, Law? Well, I want Kirk Cousins to throw the ball. I will embrace for him to throw the rock. And the more he throws the ball, you got more opportunities for what? Interceptions, batted ball out of the sky, catch, and the fumble. You got more things that can happen negative on a play when you're throwing the ball opposed to when something is being, quote unquote, I will say this again, run. So I'm going to bring Jessica into the house. I hope you have good internet. I hope it's not choppy, and I hope all is well. See, Jessica, we got you in the house. Talk to us.
Hey, everybody. I'm hanging in there, Law. I got one more week to go, still in quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
My baby sister just came by and dropped off ice cream. I miss her and she missed me. But I'm looking for a win this Sunday, Law. PVO, my brother. PVO. Let the negative go. We still got a lot of football to be played. So everybody stop with the negative, please. It's enough. It's enough. We lost Dak. Things went down, but we still can bounce back from this. We still got more football to play. The boys just need to go out there and ball like they did the Steeler game. They stole the Steeler game from us. They didn't want us to win because we was beating them Steelers. We was beating them. And they started cheating. I can't stand cheating officials. They need to get rid of those jokers. They need to start finding them for the bogus calls and all of that. That's what I feel, man. And y'all have a blessed Saturday. I'm looking for a win. PVO, stay positive, people. Be safe. Watch your surroundings. Wear your masks. Don't be going into a bunch of people or a lot of public places with a bunch of people. Protect yourself, protect your children, protect your family. I was in the car with people that I didn't know was sick, and I was riding to church with them because my car was down. Still down. I'm doing better. I'm pumping myself with these vitamin C vitamins that was dropped off to me, and drinking hot teas and stuff. So y'all just be safe out there. Take care of yourself. And follow what they say, because it's for our safety.
Yes, indeed. I
y'all have
really,
a happy
really appreciate that. Mm-hmm. Happy Thanksgiving. Oh my goodness. Appreciate you, Jessica. Thank you so much for calling in and
Well,
putting the information out there for the nation.
you're welcome.
Amen. I hope that all is well with Jessica. May she continue to fight that battle. And, you know, like they say, when you in a battle, it's not yours to fight. It's the man upstairs to fight, right? All you got to do is just be positive about it and say, Lord, this is what you is going to have to defeat, because I'm just going to sit there and have faith, right? So hopefully Jessica can, she's going to win this battle, right? She's going to win it, right? So Jessica, we really appreciate you. And let's get this thing going one way or another. Bushfire says, who cares if we win? It won't get us anywhere. Look at the big picture. You guys are losers. Remember, Bushfire. Positive vibes only. I said positive fires only, but positive vibes. Positive vibes only. I can't even talk, Bushfire, but appreciate you, man. Thank you. This is from Jessica, my brother, for that. Yes, let's continue to put our prayers, heart, souls, and minds together for Jessica with PVO. Click the rope. Yeah, click them up. Click them up. Yes. Hit that like button. Share this content. Jessica was talking about being negative, but yet brings up the Steelers cheating. This is TT. Well, you can look at it from both perspectives. TT, I think you are a Vikings fan, and you know, it's one of those things where it's football, we really don't have no control of it. We don't. And I hate to be the one to say, hey, man, this is a fake league or what have you, is all rigged. I'm never going to be that guy, right? But there are some situations and scenarios where there are some calls that could be subjective. For example, PI, pass interference, that's a very subjective call, right? Holding, you can call holding on every play. That's a very subjective call, right? Just like in basketball, touch foul, right? You know, subjective situation. Or when you're going into the hole there, you know, it can call both ways. And those type of things, I believe, that just me, I believe that gives the grounds rules for the aficionados to have more control. Because you can argue and say, well, no, that wasn't PI, it's just how it goes. And I wish it can be another way and another room and another avenue, but it is what it is. Shout out to you, Marvin Land, Candace Locker Room. Check out Candace Locker Room. Yes, that's my dog over there. That's my girl. She got some good content. Check her out. Candace Locker Room. Great information over there. And it's Troy Aikman birthday today. Oh, okay. I didn't know it was Troy Aikman. Happy birthday to Troy Aikman. Gym Laws, they have had way more success than us in the last 25 years. That's a side conversation, right? See it? I don't know what you guys talking about, but there's plenty of teams that had a little bit more success than us. It's a good situation. Terrence says, and that's my dog too. Officials control the outcome of the games. Here's the situation. For those who played sports, let me know, especially in high school and middle school, when you play sports and you go into a certain city or a certain town, coach would say, hey, the officials, hey, they won't give us this one now. They would not give us this one. So we're going to have to be dominant from the day forward, or from the start of the whistle all the way to the end, because they're going to call things in favor of the opposing team. We used to drive into a certain city already before we pull up. Eggs are being thrown. Batteries are being thrown, right? People are already putting out negative stuff about us before we even get on the field. And coach used to have a way in a philosophy. Let's put our bigger players up front. We're getting off the bus. Let's have our biggest player get off first. Maybe we can shatter the confidence of the people or the opposing team. That's just how it goes sometimes. But now on the football level, where the NFLs and the NBAs of the world, similar concept, but at a larger scale, if I can put it in those terms, larger scale. We seen Life Flash versus the Steelers. We should have won that game. It was stolen from us. The refs were wearing black and yellow. You're right, fam. hey, and one can argue that even the Eagles game, like the fumble, no fumble, but it was a fumble, but it was offside. You know how this thing goes, right? Yeah. I'm from Iowa, and they basically hated yeah. Jim Laws. But they always root for the Cowboys whenever they play the Green Bay. I hate Green Bay. I live literally 2 minutes from and I blow, and I love it when they always beat Green Bay. And I'm in the playoffs in the 90s. It's from TT. I don't know the side conversation. Everybody hates horse teeth Jera. Leave Jerry Jones alone, right? Yeah, leave Jerry Jones alone. To give you guys details of that, Jerry Wayne Jones tried to get Roger Goodell's fired, right? $45 million. Y'all know the storyline. And I know some people in the chat box, if I took $5 from you, you'll be like, look, man, that law, I can't stand him. I'm going to try to do something to sabotage him, man. He took $5 from him, from me. You can only imagine if I try to take $45 million from you, right? It's just how it goes. Shiv, you have to score enough where the officials don't decide the game. Also, your defense have to protect the lead. This is from Shiv. You're right. You're right. You have to score enough. You have to do some outlandish things. It can't be a close game. Close games are always somehow one way or another is going to be determined by the aficionados. It just feels that way sometimes. I'm not saying that, close games, let me see how I can put this. And I'm not trying to put the officials on blast, but close games are always the roughest games, right? Because then you will look at it like, okay, just like the first game of the year. The first game of the year, Michael Gallup, he catches the ball. He really abused Jalen Ramsey, right? He caught the ball fair and square. But you'll see that, hey, they will call it and say, hey, there's PI, pass interference on Michael Gallup. But when you look at it, if it was probably a no-name guy that Michael Gallup used and abused, they probably say, he was a rookie. But since it was Jalen Ramsey, since it was a home game for them, it was a multi-billion-dollar stadium, I think north of $5 billion to build that particular stadium. It would have been nice as a feel-good story. They opened up with a W at that particular venue, at that particular stadium. And then who knows? These officials are not even full-time employees. They part-time employees. Most of them probably during the off season are lawyers. They're judges. I've seen some of them work at certain stores as managers and stuff like that. So they looking at it like, hey, I might not get the money, but Pookie and Ray Ray get the money. And I'm not trying to say that it is not, but it's just how it goes. Arthur, man, really appreciate you for the donation to help elevate the nation. Hey, bro, what's the deal with everyone saying that Jefferson is better than CeeDee? Who do you think that is better? Clearly, CeeDee Lamb is a whole lot better than Jefferson. And I know that TT or somebody else in the chat box that's rooting for the Vikings will say otherwise. Now, here's the situation. There are always bodies of work as it relates to quarterback play to the wide receiver play. There's always bodies of work. What do you mean, Law? Well, 10 years from now, all of this stuff can change. It could be somebody that we're not even thinking about can be the next greatest wide receiver, but that's predicated upon who's throwing him the ball and who's putting the ball in the hands of the wide receiver. Quarterback means a lot. It do, as it relates to how the wide receiver is going to propel themselves. Now, there's always a anomaly, right? Who's the anomaly? The anomaly will be D-Hop. D-Hop, he really never had a quarterback to throw him the ball until the latter part of his career right now. Deshaun Watson, he misses D-Hop. But before Deshaun Watson, he really had nobody throwing him the ball, but he always showed up. He always was saying, hey, put the ball in the proximity, I will catch the ball. But the thing is with CeeDee Lamb, And we saw it a little bit with Garrett Gilbert. We was like, yes, he got some life back into him. You got to at least attempt to throw him the ball. You got to at least try to get him the ball. Now, I don't think that CeeDee Lamb is that boisterous guy his rookie year to be sitting there saying, okay, throw me the ball. I'm wide open. Give me the ball. He's not a me guy, right? So they just goes a long way, the quarterback exchange. And I think that in the last stretches of games, a Kirk Cousin is better than a Garrett Gilbert, or he's better than, dare I say, a Andy Dalton, right? And he's better than a Danucci. So the drop that you see off on CeeDee Lamb play is nothing to do with CeeDee Lamb. The tape and everything else will show that CeeDee Lamb numbers are still up there comparable to Jefferson. It's just that Jefferson is shining right now. And shout out to Chase Claypool. He's shining too. Both of those guys are shining because of the quarterback play. I just don't think that Chase Claypool, if he was on his team, he will be shining if a Danucci or even a AD Andy Dalton or the quarterback that we have now is throwing him the ball. And the same thing can say to the Jefferson kid, and as well as what we'll be seeing out of CeeDee Lamb. Yeah, so CeeDee Lamb is phenomenal. I was looking at it, I was like, man, oh man, boy. And shout out to Dak Prescott because he's healing and he's got that Wolverine blood. He's 2 months ahead of schedule, which is a blessing from God, for him to be ready and 2 months available earlier, if possible. Here's the situation. Close your eyes, Cowboy Nation. Close your eyes because my dog over here, let me see. Man, you got me crunk, man. You got me crunk when you brought up that question there, Arthur. Let me put you back up there. You got me crunk because I was about to end the show, man. I'm like, hey, man, let me go. But you got me crunk when you brought up this topic here. My thing is, if Dak Prescott was healthy for this remainder of the year, if he never got hurt, right? Don't y'all know what CeeDee Lamb was going to do? As far as the records for the rookies out of the Dallas Cowboys land? Woo-wee. Oh my gosh, man. It would have been crazy numbers he would have put up. He would have shattered all of the rookies' record. All of them. He was on pace to doing that. And he was making veteran-esque type of moves. And he was learning. Like his first game, remember that 4th and 2 play? He kind of cut his route a little bit beyond the sticks, or a little bit in front of the sticks. And all he had to do is just drift it a little bit further upside. Man. And then the next game, we saw the improvement. The next game after that, we saw the improvement. Look, I know firsthand because I was the guy that started him in my fantasy league. I was sitting there like, man, dog, this brother putting up some money for me. It is what it is, though. We'll see. We'll see the continuance of that next year for 2021 season. Unless they put Gary Gilbert back in, right? Man, unless they put Gary Gilbert back in. Because I don't think that, I just don't think that Andy Dalton knows how to get the ball to CeeDee Lamb. And, and Jessica, I'm not being negative. I'm just calling it out like it is. I just don't think Andy Dalton knows how to do it. And when I look back at the All-22 film, we can say, yeah, Zach Martin got hurt in that Cardinals game. But CeeDee Lamb was open on a plethora of plays, running wide open, like literally separation. That it was so huge that you could put buildings in between. So, and he just didn't. He looked off of him. He took the check down. I'm saying and he took the pass to Noah Brown to the edge there. And I said, man, that's nothing to do with concussion. There's nothing to do with Ezekiel Elliott fumbling. There's nothing to do with Zach Martin or what have you. He just gun shy. And then when he finally threw the ball to CeeDee Lamb, Way was picked off, and the guy literally raped CeeDee Lamb on that play. There's a lot of interference on that play. TT, what's good, man? How many wins do the Vikings have? How many wins do the Cowboys have? Come on, man. Y'all 4-5, and the Cowboys are 2-7. Now, here's the situation. Newsflash. You're 4-5 with Kirk Cousins. That's your starting quarterback. So you're 2 games above, and we're 2-7 with our starting quarterback not even there. So there goes to show you that, I wouldn't be beating on my chest talking about, hey, my team this and my team that when you got the starting quarterback. We're on our 4th, and that's what Kristen just said. We're on our 4th quarterback. Yeah. 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 Appreciate you, Jessica. What we have here. Out, down, and bottle, and leave me alone. Sid, shout out to you, Sid. Oh, man, TT, how many starters are injured? Shivs. Yeah. I mean, we going back and forth with that. Yeah. That's just how it goes, Cowboy Nation. Akeem just says, Lord, Dalton is just bad. All right, Cowboy Nation, I got about 7 more minutes. And normally I'll play my hype music and all that good stuff, but I just want people to know this right here. Shout out to you, Terrence. He said Chenault on the Jags will be shining if he had a decent quarterback. Point example, yes. Laviscus Chenault will be shining. He is a good guy over there, Terrence. You ain't lying. You ain't lying, Game time prediction. This is the last final minutes of the minutes. Game time prediction. Y'all put y'all score prediction down. Y'all put y'all score prediction down. All I'm gonna say is Cowboys gonna win, baby. Cowboys gonna win. We gonna win, ain't this right, Jessica? Y'all put y'all score predictions down. But Lord, Dak had a losing record before his injury. Christopher Booth. I love that answer, Christopher. Shout out to you, man. Got the glasses, got the salt and pepper beard, man. Shout out to you, man, with the jacket. That's a European cut jacket. I'm a jacket man over here as well. Christopher, let me say this. And this is not me being an apologist, but we can clearly say to ourselves, with Dak Prescott, the team was putting up north of 30 points, right? And our defense was porous because they try to bring in a new philosophy, a new defense. And yes, Dak Prescott had his ailments with some interceptions at untimely type of situations. One can say that 2 of those interceptions, especially on Amari Cooper, he gave up on his route. And I know I'm going to sound like nothing much more than an apologist for Dak Prescott. But I will say this, that first game, we was in that dogfight, right? We was in that fight. And I don't want to hear the term phrase garbage time against certain teams. The second game, of course, we won. I guess it was against the Atlanta Falcons, and we can say a watermelon kick, but you still got to move the ball and get the ball down the field. And our defense gave up everything, right? Then our third game, and I'm going off the top of my head, so I may be off on the orders of games or what have you. The Seattle Seahawks game. That was a battle of a game. But we can look back and we can really look at this defense and say, hey, on a historic level, I was sitting back saying one day, if we had an average defense, if we had a half of a piece of a defense that could really stop some type of nosebleed, man, oh man, this team would have been looked at and looked upon differently, right? Because we had a puncher's chance in each and every one of those games. Now, the reality will settle in when people will look back at this season and say to themselves, man, is Dak Prescott a horrible, bad quarterback opposed to what we seeing now, opposed to the temperature and the temperaments of the team? Because the moment Dak Prescott went out, that's when all of the chatter happened, right? All of the back and forwardness, all of the stuff being leaked, more and more situations as it relates to negative energy permeating throughout the team. Now, we can look at it and say, well, let's just go out there and grab one of the rookies in this upcoming draft. Maybe, just maybe, a Trevor Lawrence can come into this scene and be the next savior or the answer for it all, right? But the reality of it is even if you had Trevor Lawrence, let's say if we were just to do a revamp of a situation and put Trevor Lawrence week 1 against the Cowboys this year, would he be ready? Week 2, will he be ready? Week 3, will he be ready to play behind his offensive line when your right tackle and your left tackle is out against a historically bad defense? Do you guys think that Trevor Lawrence would have this team at 6-2 or 5-0 start of the season? And that brother would have been folded up like a pretzel. He's thin. And on top of that, and I'm not trying to dog Trevor Lawrence because I think that he got a high ceiling. He can probably be the next best thing since sliced bread. But when you look up his scouting report, look it up. Stares down the receivers, not accurate on the deep ball. He got some things that he got to improve on too. So even your young quarterback, the highest prospect, got to go through some growing pains. And we're not talking about the media pressure that is going to be heavy bestowed upon the young quarterback, whoever we go out there and grab, if they decide to do so. Because the expectations, you think good and well, Jerry Jones can't hush. He got 2 shows a week. Stephen Jones got 2 shows a week that broadcast and permeated throughout the echoes of the airways in Dallas Cowboys land. And you go out there and you put that expectations on a rookie because y'all gave Dak Prescott the expectation that he's supposed to be in the likings of a Jerry Goss, in the likings of a Carson Wentz, in the likings of every quarterback that was drafted in the 1st round when he was drafted in the 4th. Man, they had some high expectations for Dak Prescott. People were judging his game. He was drafted in the 4th round, and you gave him 1st round talent, right? Grades or what have you. You gave him those type of expectations. So now that you go out there and grab a 1st round quarterback, don't you know that expectations is going to be extremely high? It's going to be like John Legend, so high, it's going to be way up in the air. You know, expectations are going to be so high that y'all going to skip past everything and say, hey, y'all remember? And I can see the press clippings. I can see the writings and all of the editorial articles that's going to be permeated throughout the echoes of the airwaves, saying that the last time the Dallas Cowboys drafted a quarterback in the 1st round, they won the Super Bowl. Matter of fact, they won 3 of them. Troy Aikman was drafted in the 1st round. They're going to put those expectations on whoever we draft, any quarterback that they drafted in the 1st round. And on top of that, before he goes through the Dak Prescott comparison, they're going to give him the Roger Staubach and the Troy Aikman. And then they're going to point everything and say, you know what? Dak Prescott, his rookie year, he won 13 games. So anything short of 13 games being won or lost, boy, he better be able to overcome that. He better go 14-2. Y'all know how it is in Dallas Cowboys land. And it better be until year 3 before he start having a losing season. Matter of fact, Dak Prescott never had a losing season because this season wouldn't even count on his record because he's not playing. That's the craziest thing of it all. So that's how it goes. I know. Dak's still leading the league in insane stats. Yeah, it's crazy. But all I'm gonna sound like is a Dak Prescott apologist, and I feel it. I feel you if you guys think that way. But the expectations, regardless of what quarterback or which quarterback we go out there and grab, are going to be unrealistic and too high. Because one thing what people are going to say is that, hey, they got all these weapons. They got an Amari Cooper. They got a CeeDee Lamb. They got a Michael Gallup. You see where I'm going with it? And they don't allow time for people to develop. They would never allow the time for people to develop. And we'll be so ready saying, okay, this is a Super Bowl caliber. Remember, at the start of this year, the Super Bowl or bust. You can literally just Google start of 2020 season, the Cowboys expectations, Super Bowl or bust. So I guess this is a bust, right? Unless we have figured out a way, right? Dak exceed expectations. This is from Christian. Yeah. Yeah. Chris says, let them hate on Dak. We know really, he closet away. Anyway, TT, let me see what TT have. What TT? TT, Team Tank, what you got? No, Dak isn't a leader in the NFL and is the same amount of stats. Name one stat he leads in the NFL. Well, when he was playing, he can't be leading now. He can't be leading now. He's injured, man. He's not playing right now. TT didn't do his research. TT, major bust this season. Yeah. I'm not unintelligent or dumb, which is unable to speak. Illiterate TT. Oh man, y'all going in on TT. TT, you holding up a battle over there. TT, Dak people are just typing. Dak still is leading in the lead and stack. Oh, okay. I feel what you're saying, TT. Montana 808, where y'all stop arguing over goofies who think Madden is football. Yeah. I mean, people think Madden is football. That's the craziest thing of it all, Montana 808. I feel you on that, man. People love to argue with things that they have no control over, right? And people love to argue over, falsehoods and fake stuff. But when you see, like I know literally people will say a lot of stuff, rah-rah stuff about Dak Prescott. But when they get in the room with the guy, all of that stuff that they said and that they wanted to say about him goes out the window because he have a certain aura, a certain energy that like you can just feel it. And me, I met several players in my time. I never ever feel like a fanboy or anything like that because trust me, I've been liking this team before Dak Prescott was ever born, right? So the thing is, when you meet Dak Prescott, it's not about the feel, it's just about the energy in the room. Just the energy. Like for those who met Dak Prescott personally, let me know if you know what I'm talking about. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. If Lawrence isn't accurate and stares down his wide receiver won't be good, laugh out loud. He won't be a Mahomes. He's a tall white quarterback. That's why people like him. Laugh out loud. He can play in the NFL. But here's the thing. Here's the thing with I want to say with the young kid, and and it's not due to color or what have you. I think that he is physically gifted, but here's the situation. They playing in a unique system over there in Clemson. Shout out to the head coach over there. Wonderful guy, right? He does demonstrate a good poise when under pressure, and he does know how to utilize his legs. Now, my thing is you can tally up all of the great things that he can do, right? And you can tally up some of the negative things that he can do. And you would say, okay, the negative things that he's doing, let's hope that he goes into a system where he's not thrusted out there week 1, week 2. But the problem is with the NFL, they got this thing called salary cap. They got this thing called pressure from the media, and people, collectively speaking, got the fast food mentality. Everybody wants stuff now. Nobody want to wait on a situation. Everybody, like you go to the fast food, you say, I want my burger now. Hell, people want steak fast food now. They want things to happen so quickly that they don't want to take time for the apple pie to bake. They want the apple pie now. Put it in the microwave. But for those who out there who love the good old apple pie, it takes time. Especially don't let them do it from scratch. It takes time to make everything. But if you can go to Walmart, Kroger's, you know what I'm saying? Tom Thumbs and buy one of those apple pies that's already pre-made, it's not going to taste the same. You can say to your mind that it will, but in actuality, it will not taste like grandma's and them, right? So that's the reality. What this guy can become is a dynamic quarterback, but also with that tall frame and with all of that tallness and all of that other stuff that he got, he could be the next Paxton Lynch too. He can be, and Paxton Lynch was drafted in the first round, right? Or he can be the next guy that went to, what's that tall quarterback that went to, what's his name? Well, he's not as mobile, but he played over there in Denver land. He was a tall quarterback, got a good contract, but he just never lived up to expectations, right? But you guys get what I'm saying, right? And Paxton Lentz may have been a different quarterback if he were to go to a different team, right? But my thing is with this Trevor Lawrence is that it will take time. Just don't put the kid out there day one, week one. Just let it take time. Joe Flacco, yeah. Joe Flacco, tall guy too. Joe Flacco got a different type of arm. Yes, yeah. My dog said Joe Flacco, but I'm talking about way before. What's the year? What's the year that the Denver Broncos won the Super Bowl? What's that tall quarterback that stayed in a few games? He was tall, right? He was tall, right? Peyton Manning said, "Nah, dog. Let me get back. Let me get back to quarterback in this team." Yeah. I'm no hater. Mahomes threw 3 picks in the Super Bowl. He got sacked several times in the most recent game. Yeah. Keith, I feel what you're saying. But the answer is Brock Osweiler, right? And I trust me, I know the people gonna say, "Hey, Law is saying that Trevor Lawrence is Brock Osweiler." No, I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying that Trevor Lawrence is Paxton Lentz as well, Lentz and whatever his name, Paxton Lentz, whatever his name is. But what I'm saying is, it takes time for these quarterbacks to develop, though. And Clemson plays an NFL offensive spread. Don't forget, he will be a rookie. He will still have to learn in the NFL. Yes. But that's why you look at everything and say to yourself, let's bring this kid on slowly. But nobody do that anymore. You know, Joe Cool over there in Cincinnati land, he's learning the hard way. Now you can see some of the situations that, yeah, he's picking up the offense. They look pretty good, but they're not winning games. Maybe year 2, year 3, you can see some turnarounds of that organization. But it's going to be hard in Cincinnati still, right? and Herbert is having a hell of a game or a hell of a year as well, right? He was drafted what? The 12th pick, the 13th pick, the 14th, something like that. When did Herbert win? Y'all help me out. But you guys get what I'm saying, though, right? Trevor is a franchise quarterback. Yeah, well, depending on which franchise he go to, will solidify what you're saying. I can guarantee you, somebody said Marcus Mariota is a franchise quarterback. Let me know if I'm lying. I guarantee you, somebody looked at RG3 and said he is a franchise quarterback. I guarantee you, somebody looked at what's that guy name with the fingers? Jameis Winston. He's a franchise quarterback. You guys get what I'm saying? Shout out to you, Chris, man. I hope all is well. I'm supposed to have been gone. Maybe they play-by-play big game. Yeah, facts. Yeah, shout out to you, my dog, Montana 808. All right, Cowboy Nation, that's all the time. I overstood my time, overwent my time. But I really appreciate you all for your time. Don't forget to hit that Herbert went 6th overall, 5th overall. Yeah, appreciate you, man. Trevor is a franchise quarterback who, yeah. A.D. Williams, tell me something real quick. Shout out to you, man. So, I mean, it just how it goes, Cowboy Nation. We just got to figure this thing out. If the Cowboys do decide to go with a quarterback, all I'm saying is just lower your expectations. Push them back, put them on the shelf, and say, okay, this quarterback or whoever we go out there and get, there will be some growing pains. Let me see what somebody said about Mariota. It went away. Here you go. Mariota got his career ruined by all of the coaches in Tennessee. Yeah. Now, one thing I will say before I roll up out of here, Mike McCarthy. Every year, Green Bay land, I think that he do draft a quarterback, and every year he also draft a cornerback. So that could be a philosophy and the mantra that they're going to go with. So don't be surprised. 2021, they draft a quarterback. That's all I'm saying. But just like people had high expectation, I've seen people put it out there of Ben DiNucci. Just think about it. At the end of the game, he said, man, the NFL is tough. No No, you know what I'm saying? Sherlock, you know? So it's going to take time. Whoever we go out there and grab, it's still going to take time. Ben DiNucci, we shouldn't have seen him until year 3, year 4. That's letting you know how long it takes time for some of these guys to showcase their talent. I am an Aaron Rodgers and Mahomes fan is from Overton, Jones, Jackson, Jones. How you got two last name, brother? Jones. And it took time. It took time for Aaron Rodgers, and it took time for Pat Mahomes. It did. He didn't win the Super Bowl his first year. It took time, and he sat behind Alex Smith. Alex Smith showed him all of the tools and the trades and the tricks and what have you, and he also contributed most of his knowledge of the game to his positioning coach, or I think it was one of the quarterback coaches over there, or it could have been Eric Bieniemy or Andy Reid that said, hey, they sat him down and he had to learn how to read defenses. That's not from my mouth. That's from Pat Mahomes' mouth. So there it goes to show you that it takes time. Law, what do you think about Tua? Tua came into a situation where they playing hungry. I love his progression. I love the way he goes through his reads. But still, I want people to look at Tua and say to yourself, even if he played with the Dallas Cowboys, you guys would still be complaining about that, because I know that you're looking at the wins and saying, yes, it's good. But even Tua, look at the yards, because the same argument that I've been fighting for since 2016, everybody was saying, like, look, he's not passing 300 yards. He's not passing 400 yards, but he got the dub. That's all that mattered. The dub is all that mattered. But I remember people wanted the stats. We will win a game and he would pass, Dak Prescott would pass 180 yards or 200 yards. And they said, look, it's not 300. It's not 400. It's not 350. It's not this, it's not that. He's not passing the ball beyond 10 yards or what have you. Remember that? I don't forget it, but I remember y'all saying that. And Tua is doing the exact same thing that Dak Prescott was doing. Taking the underneath pass what the defense is giving you down the field, and they come out with the dub. The defense playing hungry, the defense giving them a short area of the field. Yes, it's a little dink and dunk or what have you, but his game is not being analyzed and getting gone through like a fine-tooth comb. But people would look at the win and they look at Tua and say, yes, he's fantastic. Cowboys should have had him. But the moment, if he was on the Cowboys land, man, y'all would have changed the whole tune. I know it. I know how y'all be thinking. You know, I know it. I know it. Bad was premature and he was shaking his boots. Flinch game was real. Yeah. Shout out to Mark Holmes. Don't forget to follow Mark Holmes. He's a legend out there. Y'all see the illustration behind me. That's Mark Holmes and his dope mind to create the football. One side being white, the other side being Cowboys blue. And I got the shot glasses over there. So if you want to set up like what I got in my house, in my studio room, in my small man cave over here, hit up Mark Holmes, man. Hit him up. Go get that thing, that football thing. And he'll ship it out and mail it to you with some instructions and all of that good stuff. That's all the time that I have for this beautiful moment. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this content. Let your friend, neighbor, foe know where to go when they want to tune in to Cowboys Sports Talk and Beyond. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. I'm out.